Alright YouTubers, what's going on? Coming back at you with a knife video. I know, it's been a while, we've had all this drama going on and ad videos and all that crap. So we're done with that, we're just getting back to business and what we like to do on the channel, review gear. So we're looking at a new Kershaw budget model. This is the AM4 or 2330, which is one of the new Almar Kershaw collaborations, which was pretty exciting. When I saw this year, I was kind of, I've always been curious about Almar knives. I've never owned one. I've heard good things about them, that they're well made. I always just thought they were kind of expensive for what you got. Oh, jeez. My chair moved and I hooked my camera. Sorry about that. So, before we get into the first impressions, let's talk about the basic stats. Your overall length is 7.625 with a blade length of 3.5 inches. There is a smaller one of these that's slightly smaller. It's identical. It just has a smaller blade. It's like a 3-inch blade. 8013 MLB steel, the spear point blade with a hollow grind, satin finish. Handle length is 4.125 inches. You're 0.42 inches thick in the handle. You have black G10 that's nicely polished. Stainless steel frame lock, which we'll talk about here. And you're weighing it at 3 ounces. It's really light, especially because it's a stainless steel frame lock. That's pretty awesome. Tip up carry only. It is a deep carry clip, which is nice. It is speed safe assisted. We'll find out if it can be unassisted. And this is a Chinese knife. I mean, it's $32, so you're getting what you pay for here. Now, let's talk about the action. Is going to be the speed safe, so it's going to flip nicely. The nice thing about this one on the speed safe is it's not terribly hard to close. It probably can't be de-assisted. Majority of these can't these days. And that may be one you just want to leave assisted because it's not going to be difficult to, you're not fighting that spring so much. So the action's kind of, it's what you'd expect out of a speed safe, but it's not terribly strong, so you're going to have to fight it when on closing. So pocket clip is nice. It is the standard DT deep carry, but it's black coated and it has the Almar logo on it, which is cool. Totally matches the flow of this knife. It's actually a really pleasant, my first impression when I got out of the box, I'm like, this is pretty slick. The red standoffs, you got that nice clip, the polished G10, the black coating on the back here on the stainless steel. It's a good looking little knife. It's going to carry nice and deep in the pocket, and it's light. I put it in my pocket for literally 5 seconds climbing down the stairs. Again, the first impressions video here, guys. And it carries nicely. It's nice and light. It's thin. Ergonomics. Let's check out those ergonomics. My first impressions when I got out of the box a little bit ago is they're very good. It's really comfortable in my left hand too, surprisingly. And in the right hand it's really good, and that flipper guard gives you a nice, this is like a great size knife, man. This is like my wheelhouse. Just around a 4-inch handle is so good, and you get a 3.5-inch blade. They did a great job with the blade to handle ratio on this design. So the ergonomics are great. There's no hot spots. Let's try it's nice in that grip. It's nice in this grip. You kind of a little bit feel the deep carry clip. That is part of that design, but it's designed to minimize that as least as possible. It's not a new pocket clip design. They've had it on for a long time. So good ergonomics. The design and visual appeal is really nice. It's a good looking little blade. I feel like it's one of those budget knives that looks nicer than it is, if that makes sense. Like, you get it out of pocket, someone might hand it to you, and you're like, dude, that's a pretty slick knife. You might mistake it for being like more like a $100 knife until you know where the country origin and the steel, it might bring it down to reality. But the polished G10 is really good looking. I really like that. I've always been a fan of polished G10, even though it doesn't provide grip. On a knife like this, I don't think especially the smaller one, I don't think you're necessarily, doing things that you need tons of grip. But when you get it in your hand, it's not slipping. You got nice jimping up here to help with that. And that flipper guard has some jimping on it, and it really helps kind of lock it in your hand. So you're not going to have issues, I don't think, with this knife slipping on you. So it looks nice. It's really, really highly polished. Let's do some kind of close-ups there. You can really see the grain of the G10, which is cool. I've always been a fan of that. Kershaw used to do that in a lot of their older knives, and I've always been a fan. I'm glad they brought that back with this model. And then you have the nice black coating on the frame lock, and you've got all black screws. and you got that nice hint of color with the red standouts and then the red on the clip. So overall, design and visual appeal is very nice. It's a pretty simple design, and it looks like an Almar knife. If you go online and look at some Almars, this is kind of what they all look like. There's not a lot of diversity in the models. So it's nice, and they're, like I said, they're a little more expensive for what you get. I like their collaboration with Kershaw because that's an inexpensive knife that everyone can afford. Everyone can afford a $30 knife, guys. So it's got a nice thin blade, not very wide. It's pretty. Let's see here. Where are my calipers? Of course, it's like, oh, there they are. They're hiding. They're hiding. I found them. They're attached to a magnet. What's going on here? There we go. Guys, I'm in a better mood than I was this morning because it was 4 AM when I did that video. Oh, my batteries are running low on this thing. I can barely see that. I must have left it on. But your blade stock thickness is what I'm going for here. And it tapers, so we're going to try to just kind of go midway. It's just a hair over an inch thick. It's not bad. How is it behind the edge is the question. 0.43 behind the edge. That's not. It's pretty thin. It's not bad. Out of the box sharpness. Let's check that out. Small. Yeah, it's nice. Should be a pretty good slicer. Great little EDC knife for pretty much all kinds of your tasks. I could see it doing well food prep as well. Yeah, not bad at all. Let's look at the grind on it, or the edge, excuse me, and the grind. But the edge is nice and uniform for 30 bucks. Looking at you, DPX. So, good flow, good design, fit and finish is good. I mean, it's a $30 knife, but it's well made. It's got the centering's right on. It's well finished on the G10. There's no rough spots. I mean, it looks good. I think it's a great deal, man. 30 bucks for this guy. It's a good looking little knife, and it is available in a smaller one if you got issues with your laws with knives. So that was nice of them to do that. So very good value. I mean, $32 is what I paid. I got this from my guys over at Blade Ops. They were like the first one to get them in, and they're luckily local to me, so I actually shipped this one. I usually go pick them up from them, look at them first, but I was busy, so I shipped it. Got here in one day. But overall, yeah, it's great value. Not the best steel. We all know 8-0-13 is not the greatest. However, it's easy to sharpen, so there's always that trade-off of steels that we get so caught up on. High-end, big end, M390 and S110V and all these super steels that a lot of guys can't sharpen. They don't have the skills. They don't have necessarily the sharpening. You can also use this thumb stud, maybe. Yeah, you can. It's a little harder. The flipper is definitely a better way to go. But you get caught up on those things, and, it's easy to sharpen. It doesn't hold an edge long, but it's easy to sharpen. It'll strop really good. If you use it and strop it, it'll stay sharp. So overall use, I'd say just your general overall EDC folder. Not that I would be one I would take out in the outdoors, but I'm sure it would do fine if you needed it to. And it's definitely going to be a good food prep. Just typical EDC task knife, opening packages and cutting strings and all the stuff we really do with our knives, not what we pretend to do. So overall, I like it, guys. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool little budget knife. Let's do some size comparisons while I'm thinking about it to some very popular knives. There's the Benchmade 940. You can see it's very similar in size, a little smaller in the handle, not much though. And here is let's scoot this baby up. There's the Spyderco Delica. This is a aftermarket Delica with, aftermarket scales on a Warncliffe. So it's about the size of a Delica and a 940. Those are very, very commonly known knives. And here's another one, just because I have it here. A Pioneer Victorinox. It's going to be bigger than that, but a lot thinner. There you go. So there's some common knives to compare it to. So I think Kershaw is doing well this year with their budget models. Well, yeah, even they have some USA made knives that have been great. Dividend. They have, what's the last one? The Fraction, is that the one I reviewed? The Anzo design one, I liked that one. This one, the Almar series, are pretty sweet. These are my favorites so far, I gotta be honest. That polished G10 just looks really good. I wish more makers would do it. I mean, I get that they want people are, you know, lots of grip, but it's typically not all that necessary. So, alright guys, that's going to wrap up my first impressions of the Kershaw Almar series. It's the AM4. Any questions or comments, leave them down below, and we will see you on the next video.